is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again. And today we're going to get into the CFL. Hey, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I mean, why not? We're just, covering every single one of the leagues that seems to be folding. And no, Andrew G., I didn't hear your comment. Just kidding, but I feel like I'm just this plague that is over sports or something. It just seems like every league that I've been getting into late that I've been talking about seems to be folding. There's something wrong, something coming up. And of course, I mentioned the CFL and that I'm going to look into it and that I'm going to go ahead and start doing videos on it. And what do? I start going through and I start reading up on it. I start reading up on the draft, the draft is tonight. It's coming up in a few hours. I'm doing this video just before that. But of course, as I start to look into the draft and I start looking into these players that could be drafted in tonight's draft, what happens? The information comes out that the CFL is asking the Canadian government for money. Hey everyone, I figured I'd do something different, give you a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of look behind the scenes of what's going on. So I just got done with doing a workout. I did if you could see it, a Insanity Max 30 Beach Body on Demand. I've got that, so I usually try to get workouts in during the week. I ran a couple miles beforehand and then did a 30-minute workout, so I'm done now, and I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek behind the curtain of what goes on when I do my videos and that, and what goes on other times too. So I just got done with a workout. I'm going to eat my dinner here soon, and then I'll be going back to videos. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and get behind the camera here, and I'll give you just kind of a little shot of views that you normally don't get of kind of my studio setup. Alright, so here you go. Yeah, this kind of backdrop's really not that big. And so yeah, we've got the desk and all that. And then yeah, there's the camera, tripods, and yeah. So that's what it is. She's a bit messy, but hey, it's home. I love it. So hopefully you like this little segment. Let me know down in the comment section. All right, let's get back to it. Yes, that is right. They're hurting like everyone else. And they've already kind of pushed their season back. And, their season was supposed to start here in about a month, with their preseason and everything that was coming up. This was supposed to be a choice occasion for them. They were going to get into their draft, and then they were going to kind of move on from there. And it just happened like everything else. So what have they done? They've gone through, and it looks like that they started the proceeding back in April. But the CFL, Randy Ambrosi, he's the commissioner of the league, and he pretty much has come out and said that they've asked the government for $30 million. To kind of get through this time period of where they're going to be missing games, and that they've already pushed the season back, and that they're looking that it could be up to about $150 million that they could be needing if they don't play the season, which, to the commissioner looks like could be, a probability for them. The reality of it is that with the CFL is much different, than the NFL or the NBA, MLB, or even college football. The fact of the matter is that they're like 60% of their revenue comes from fans in the stands, from the gate, from what's going on. So if they don't have fans, they're pretty much done, because, to where, they can't they don't have the big contract deals that they have with these TV networks and all that, to where they can still bring in revenue and a decent amount of revenue. Whereas like for instance, with the NFL, it's somewhere between 10 to 20% of their actual revenue comes from, gate sales and having fans there at the games, which is totally different in that regards. I mean, when you're looking at 60% just cutting that out because it doesn't look like they're going to be getting fans anytime soon. And their commissioner, flat out said it, we might not even, have fans at all so we're pretty much at a loss here. So this is really interesting, and it's not a new precedent. We've seen it before. The NHL, has kind of done that in years past and things. And the government pretty much flat out came out and said no to them. But they haven't really said that yet with the CFL. Now, they're not the only league in Canada that's been asking the Canadian government for a bailout. The other leagues have. I think, you've got their professional soccer league there in Canada has also done that. So you have that. So this isn't just them alone with it. And it seems to be that a lot of their leagues there, the professional leagues in Canada, they don't really have a very strong TV deals to where a lot of it comes from at the gate. Fans in the stands. Everything that's done there on game day. Hey, I figured I'd break into the action again. I know, it's a bad pun. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information that maybe you didn't know. If you're really into like simulation sports, especially like online simulation sports, and I don't mean Madden or 2K5 or 2K8, not necessarily the playing part of it, but kind of the simulation of the sports, then I have one for you, and I've got it right behind me here. It's called Pigskin Empire. If you want, check them out. I found them a couple years back. If you've kind of got that itch that like the NCAA 14 with, the recruiting side of things and just kind of being that manager and managing things, it's a really neat thing. You could go all the way from, the idea is you start with a coach, and as you go and as you get things, you build them up. So they start as a coordinator and go up to a coach. And the cool thing is they got Division II, Division I, college ball, and then they have semi-pro and pro leagues. And you play with other people online. It takes a month to get through a season, and it's a pretty cool thing. So if you're looking, if you like that thing, and if you got an itch, this could possibly scratch that itch. So check them out. It's pigskinemempire, I think, .com, and it might be something you might be interested in. All right, let's get back to the video. So, this it's just been kind of another downer just to add to the list. And yes, I know, like I said, jokingly at the beginning of the video, like I hear you guys with that. But at any rate, I'm just going to barrel through, and eventually one of these leagues is going to succeed, right? I mean, come on, they've been having the Grey Cup for over 100 years. It'll outlast me. Hurricane Tyler here. All joking aside with that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pay attention to the draft tonight. I'm going to go through and I'll give you my thoughts on that. I think that, they've got some interesting storylines, and the CFL is interesting anyways. It really is an ebb and flow, and they really kind of watch what's going on with the NFL and other things as well, because, the CFL is built a little bit differently than the NFL and some of a lot of the other leagues, meaning that pretty much about half of their roster needs to be a Canadian native. And so if you're looking at that, then it's very Canadian football is very Canadian centric. Good night, I cannot talk. It's very it's very Canada, and so with that, a lot of these teams, are hone in not on the Canadian players, but then also on the players that, the NFL doesn't pick up. So these guys that, it's not just guys that are drafted, but guys that don't sign contracts. And so with the NFL always moving and shaking a lot with those contracts and things, you have a guy who, could have been a big star for the CFL or looking in the CFL. Now he's signed with the, a contract with the NFL. So now he's off the board. So a guy that, they thought was going to be on a team now isn't going to be, so we'll go through a lot of that. And like I said, I'll give my draft recap of that and, go through it. Because the reality of it is I am completely new to this game. And there's going to be a lot of new things coming up with this. You're going to see a lot of new things with me and that with it. And who knows, maybe I'll just, finally just shut it down and just, call it quits because I'm just a jinx, with that. But who knows, maybe we'll find the next fun thing and the next fun league as opposed to some other leagues that we tend to talk about here with it. So I don't know. Those are just kind of my thoughts and that with it. So we'll tune in to see what's going to happen with the CFL and their draft and see what's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily look like that it's a very promising deal for them if, that them even getting any money from the government. But it is something that the government hasn't completely come out and said, no, we are in strange times. And so I would expect to, see strange things. So we'll continue to stay up on this story and we'll definitely follow up with the CFL. All right, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments section. And remember to stay safe and keep up the hope. Have a good night. Bye.